Haru was a lonely loser who was also tagged the most useless monster hunter in his academy. However, everything changed when he got infected with a virus that gave him overpowered abilities, so he used them to crack monsters by day and baddies by night. About a decade ago, a group of terrorists bombed a health facility, which caused an unstable virus to be released into the public. Apparently, the virus only affected the brain and caused millions of people around the world to perceive beings called phantoms, which are supernatural creatures that exist in the metaphysical plane. Since then, some infants have begun manifesting powers capable of fighting dangerous phantoms, while harmless phantoms coexist peacefully with humans. A few years pass, and Haru is in a club that specializes in hunting down phantoms. One morning, he gets smacked awake by his homegirl phantom named Ruru, who reminds him that he has a job to complete at the academy. Immediately, Haru dresses up like Flash and bolts outside to catch the nearest train. A bit later, he arrives at the academy and joins his partner, Mai, in a fight to defeat a dangerous phantom. Here, Mai leads the offensive while buying Haru enough time to use his unique ability, which allows him to sketch phantoms and seal them. Although they both succeed in sealing the phantom, their mates call them useless because they have a reputation for losing to strong phantoms, and it annoys Mai. Later, Haru and Mai report to their instructor, Himeno, and realize that they aren't going to get paid for defeating the phantom because they destroyed the academy's property during the fight. Hearing this annoys Mai because she was counting on the reward to survive the rest of the month. She then suggests to Haru that they recruit more people to their team so they stand a better chance of completing jobs. After classes, Haru heads home and notices a cute girl named Reina surrounded by a group of dangerous phantoms. Just as he tries to save her, her mouth expands by 6 inches and sucks in all the phantoms in one swoop, leaving Haru completely shocked. He then runs up to her and starts glazing her powers, wishing his sausage were a phantom so she would swallow. Ruru smacks some sense into him, so he resets and starts begging her to join his phantom hunting club, but Reina declines. As she tries to leave, she loses balance and slips from the stairs, so Haru tries to catch her, but she ends up falling on top of him, and ends up smacking him for peeking at her plots. The following day, Haru meets Reina at the academy and promises to treat her to lunch as a way to change her mind. At the cafeteria, Reina swallows pasta the size of Japan and is excited because she can't afford such meals. Hearing this, Haru tells her she can get paid for working in their club, so Reina gets interested in joining and later links up with Mai for a job. Soon after, they both arrive at a field where they see a set of drum-type phantoms playing themselves and dancing. Seeing them, Reina questions the need to seal them because they appear harmless, so Mai explains that the phantoms have been causing radio interference, and it's a problem. She then charges at the phantoms to fight, but gets pushed back easily because they're equipped with electrifying cables. Seeing this, Haru reveals that the phantoms are tool spirits, which were abandoned by humans who used to play with them. He also adds that the phantoms are dancing to express their grief, and the only way to get rid of them is to join their dance. With that, Haru, Reina, and Mai join the dance and manage to pass the first round, which involves dancing below an electrifying cable.
One eternity later.
Haru and the girls are still dancing because the phantoms aren't satisfied with their moves. In another round, Reina is eliminated due to fatigue, while Haru mistakenly touches the cable and gets electrocuted, leaving their fates in Mai's hands. For the next round, the cable is way lower than before, and Mai is scared of dancing below it because her milk cannons are in the way. Thinking fast, she starts bouncing them so that the laws of jiggle physics will let her jugs pass the cable without getting toasted to ashes. After a risky attempt, Mai succeeds in completing the dance, so the phantoms are pleased and agree to be sealed. However, since Haru forgot his sketchbook, Reina volunteers to seal the phantoms by throating them in one go. The following day at school, Reina walks up to Haru to talk about the day before his gig. She then asks about his relationship with Ruru, but Ruru cuts in to start ranting about the origin of her name, so Haru slaps Ruru against the wall like a mosquito before telling Reina that Ruru is just a pest he can't get rid of. Just then, a new transfer student named Minaze walks by, and Haru and Reina stop her to greet her, but Minaze just leaves them on red. Staring at Minaze as she goes, Haru remembers the time Himeno told him about how Minaze possesses strong powers but prefers to be a lone ranger. A bit later, Himeno tells Haru and the girls that security robots that have become phantoms are causing trouble at an abandoned facility, and she would love them to take care of it. She also adds that Minaze is already headed to the facility, but she wants them to assist Minaze because she wants Minaze to understand the ultimate power of teamwork. In the meantime, Minaze arrives at the facility and, seeing the robots approach her, she recites her spells before singing them out to release fire to destroy the robots. Unfortunately, her spell does not work on the robots, and the robots switch to elimination mode to attack her. Just when she thinks all hope has been lost, Mai suddenly rushes in to kick some of the robots, and Haru guides Minaze to come meet them. Immediately, Minaze asks why they are interfering with her mission, only to learn that Himeno sent them. More robots soon start to approach them, causing Haru to figure out that the robots are multipliers, and they will need to get rid of the main robot to destroy the others. Minaze quickly tries her spell on the main robot, but it does not work just like before. So Ruru asks Haru for the reason behind it since he is the group's resident Wikipedia incarnate. Haru replies that the robots are probably emitting an inverted signal to cancel out Minaze's voice, which is why her spells are ineffective. He then tells Mai to destroy the speaker of the main robot, and Mai quickly complies by giving the robot's speaker a powerful punch. With that, Minaze tries her spell again, and all the multiplied robots get fried. Reina swallows up the robot's remnants while Mai casts a fire spell to melt the main robot. Soon after, Haru tells Mai that he is done sketching the main robot, so Mai steps back, giving Haru the chance to seal the main robot into his sketchbook. After Haru is done, Mai introduces herself to Minaze. Minaze praises her and Reina's skills in response but ignores a furious Haru, who does not like that he did not get any praise. Riri starts to snoop around the facility, hoping to find something worth selling on eBay, only to find a game console, and she becomes obsessed. In the meantime, Reina complains about her dirty uniform because her parents are kind of strict, so Haru offers to take her to his place to change into his mom's old clothes. At Haru's apartment, the girls learn that he is into a lot of nerdy stuff. Ruru also brags about the game console she picked up at the facility, but Haru feels it's a bad idea because that just makes her a thief. Ruru replies that the facility was abandoned in the first place, so Haru grabs the game console to check it out. Seeing it read different numbers, Haru wonders if it is an error code and tries to reset it, only for it to go blank, so he decides to recharge it. Shortly after, Haru bids Reina, Mai, and Ruru farewell before returning to his library to learn more about the game console on the internet. The following morning at school, Haru tells the girls that he still has no idea how the game console works as he focuses on his sketching. Curious, Mai asks him what he is drawing, and he shows off a demon called Marchosias that he has been working on for a while now because he wants to polish his summoning skills. He also adds that he will need the demon to help out with the dangerous phantoms, and even though a jealous Ruru feels he can depend on her to help out, Haru reminds her that she is just a useless pest to him. Shortly after, Himena walks in to hand them another request to take down a phantom at a girl's dorm, and Haru's virgin brain immediately overheats. When they arrive at the dorm, the occupants complain about a flying object that has been secretly taking their pictures whenever they are getting changed. Haru quickly figures that they are describing a peeping phantom, but when they get into the room, the decoration makes him wonder if they time-traveled to Barbie Land. They then wait for the peeping phantom to arrive, and after sitting for hours, Reina suggests they get changed. Maybe it would attract the phantom. Mai agrees, and they kick Haru out of the room before getting changed. Haru then decides to continue his drawing, only to hear that the phantom has arrived. Immediately, he rushes in to help, but Mai just throws him out the window because they are not properly dressed. Defeated, he returns to the entrance of the room to wait for them to request his presence. When they do, and he enters, he realizes that the phantom is hard to capture and he mistakenly ends up under Reina's leg in the process of catching it. Reina quickly throws him out the window on impulse, and when he returns to the room again, Reina apologizes, only to find out that he hurt his finger. Haru just uses the blood on his finger to summon Marchosias since summoning demons requires blood. Instead of a powerful dragon to reveal itself, he is shocked to see that his sketching only resulted in summoning a cute puppy. Mai quickly orders him to work with what he has, only to get distracted by the phantom taking her pictures. Annoyed, she hits the phantom with a stick, causing it to fall on a resting Marchosias. Marchosias then chases after the phantom for disturbing its me time till it catches it, and Reina uses the chance to swallow the phantom. The following day, Haru and Reina rush to meet Mai, in order to head out for a new gig together. Reina also makes it clear that she bumped into Haru on her way to meet Reina to prevent any dating allegations with a bum like Haru. As they continue to walk, Mai starts to talk about her past after seeing some youngsters pass by. She opens up about how she used to be very quiet and shy, but Haru does not believe it, and she angrily tackles him for thinking she is lying. A bit later, Reina gives them the details about the phantom they will be dealing with. Apparently, the phantoms have been preventing people from crossing the town's bridge and challenging them to a duel instead. Getting to the bridge, Mai talks about how the place feels familiar to her, only for a phantom to interrupt her. Mai immediately challenges the phantom to a duel, but another phantom appears and tells Mai that their goal was to summon her. Mai replies that she has no idea what they are talking about, but if they want a taste of her fist, they should move closer to her. The phantoms then attack Mai while Haru and Reina just watch the whole thing like spectators. While at it, they kick Mai in the opposite direction, thereby causing Mai to feel weak. Seeing this, Haru defends Mai by quickly summoning Marchosias to distract the phantoms. He then rushes to check on a defeated Mai, and seeing how weak she is, he runs away with her, causing the phantoms to call on Mai for a rematch if she wishes to die for real. The following day, Mai angrily curses out the phantoms, and when the others point out that the phantoms were specifically looking for her, she replies that they must have heard of how strong she is. She then suggests they come up with a way to defend against the phantoms, But the others point out that they will need another strong person like Mai to take on the phantoms, so they start to think of how to go about it. A few minutes later, Mai gathers them for a quick martial arts training session and starts to train them. After the training session, Mai lets them know that Haru sucks at fighting while Reina is a bit better, but she is skeptical about putting Reina in danger. Mai then decides to continue training Haru till he is better, but this just makes Reina feel unwanted in the group. Haru quickly opts for a shortcut out of training and suggests that he copy Mai's memories into his memory so that he can be able to use her martial arts skills. He explains that there is a theory that states that human memory is not stored in the brain but in the human subconscious, which is similar to cloud data storage. The storage then makes it possible to copy one's memory into another person's memory. However, Mai just thinks Haru is a professional couch potato trying to come up with excuses, so he defends himself by explaining how popular theory was in the 80s until Himeno interrupts them to give her 2 cents. Himeno suggests that since Haru can summon phantoms, that means he can be able to access the metaphysical server of human memories and copy Mai's memory to his. They then ask Himeno how to access the metaphysical, and Himeno lets them know she has an idea in mind, which leaves them confused. The following day, Haru and Mai are forced to play in the park while Himeno and Reina watch them from afar because Himeno believes that if they have fun memories together, it will make the transfer of their memories easier. After they are done, they all head back to the bridge. Mai suddenly stops midway to tell them that she has remembered the reason why the place felt familiar to her. Apparently, she once passed there while on a trip in preschool, and since she was shy, she used to play by herself. While playing, 2 youngsters she had never met before approached her to play with her, and she joined them. Now that she remembers it, she realizes that she did not even ask for their name and wonders where they may be. Just then, the 2 phantoms from earlier appear, and as she gets in attack mode, Haru quickly reminds her that he has yet to copy her memory, only to get dragged into the fight. As the fight gets intense, Haru proceeds to run for his life, which leaves Mai distracted by his antics, thereby giving one of the phantoms the chance to punch Mai. Haru quickly rushes to grab her before she falls, but their heads collide in the process. The impact sends them both to the metaphysical, and Haru tells Mai to start thinking of her martial arts training so he can start copying it, and she complies. While at it, Haru comes across Mai's memory of the 2 youngsters on her trip, which leaves him surprised. So when they return to their world, Haru tells Mai that the phantoms after her are the youngsters she met on her trip, causing her to stare blankly at the phantoms in response. The phantoms cannot believe she does not remember them, so they show her the memory themselves. Turns out she actually bullied the phantoms while they were younger, which leaves her completely surprised. The phantoms then let her know that they've been looking for her since that day to get revenge, but she is still very confused. Haru explains that she probably changed her memory to suit her current self, and hearing this leaves her stunned. The phantoms soon challenge her to a duel, and she accepts. Ruru quickly tells Haru to join Mai in the challenge, just as Himeno encourages him to also go for it. With that, he rushes towards the phantoms and flies above them when they try to punch him, thereby catching the others by surprise. Feeling energized, he tells Mai to take a backseat and rushes towards the phantoms. However, they dodge all his punches till he runs out of breath and falls like a deflated balloon. The phantoms then rush to take out Mai, while Himeno advises Haru to use Mai's special abilities that he copied from her. With that, he stands and casts Mai's spells to attack the phantoms. The effect distracts the phantoms, thereby giving Haru and Mai the chance to team up and cast the spells together to defeat the phantoms. After the fight, Mai helps the defeated phantoms up, and the phantoms promise to return to challenge her before disappearing. After the phantoms leave, Reina and Himeno congratulate her on a good job, and she goes to pat Haru on the head for helping out. The following evening, Haru and the girls eat at a restaurant thanks to the all-you-can-eat voucher they got as payment for defeating the phantoms. After Reina is done eating her 1000th plate, Ruru questions where all her food goes to since her body still looks tea, but Reina herself has no idea. A bit later, Reina apologizes to the others for eating too much, but they let her know it is fine since she earned it, which leaves her relieved. After that, the others bid her farewell, and she heads to the bus stop to wait for her bus. While at it, a biker suddenly passes by, and she thinks it's her runaway sister, only to realize that she is wrong. Soon after, a mysterious bus stops in front of her, and she innocently enters, but as the bus continues its journey, Mina sees it and realizes it's a phantom bus. A few hours later, Reina suddenly finds herself at the entrance of her home and wonders how she got there before entering. The following day at school, after telling the others about her strange encounter, Reina learns from Ruru that she may have been bewitched by a phantom. Mines also joins in to talk about how the bus Reina entered the previous day was a phantom. Due to that, the whole gang joins Reina at the bus stop after school to see the phantom for themselves. As they wait, Mai cusses at Mines for not helping Reina the previous day, but Mines just claims that Reina is capable of taking care of herself since she possesses special abilities. Before Mai can reply, the bus appears, and Reina quickly walks in. Haru tries to stop her by rushing in after her, but the bus's door closes and disappears, which sends Mai into panic mode. Minae then tells her to chill, assuring her that they are definitely going to return. But if Reina continues to get on the bus each time, then there is a high chance that she may not return. Shortly after, the bus drops Haru and Reina in front of a strange house. While Haru looks around, wondering where the hell they are, a bewitched Reina rushes into the strange house, which leaves Haru completely stunned. Inside the house, Reina settles down for lunch with her pig-looking parents, who ask if she had a nice day at school. As Reina starts to give them the deets about the Phantom Club she joined, Haru, who has been watching them from outside, rushes in to ask if Reina has a loose bolt in her head that is making her hang out with phantoms. Reina just calls him Big Bro in response, and the pig-looking parents rush to welcome him in while he just stares at the pig's pocket-sized form in shock. After the greetings, they serve him his meal, and he tastes it out of courtesy, only to get bewitched immediately. The following morning, they say their goodbyes to the pig-looking parents as they head to school in the mystery bus. Inside the bus, Haru suddenly regains himself and wonders what is going on. He then calls on Reina, who is still bewitched, to wake up, only for both of them to appear in front of her house. Reina regains consciousness, and Haru shows her the time to reveal that no time has passed since they boarded the bus at school. Just then, Reina's father calls on Reina through their house speaker to ask about Haru, and she quickly replies that he is just a classmate who walked her home because it was getting dark. She then bids Haru farewell and rushes inside before Haru can say anything. The following day at school, Minas lets them know that the phantom they are involved with hypnotizes humans and takes them to their own world. Concerned, Mai asks Reina if she has any idea as to why such a thing would possess her, so she opens up about how her parents don't like the fact that she is a phantom eater because they dislike phantoms as a whole. She also adds that her sister left home because she got sick of her parents' stance on phantoms. When asked about her sister, she replies that her sister looks just like Mai and apologizes for not telling them earlier. Haru feels that the phantoms are probably taking advantage of Reina's feelings, while Minae takes her leave to deal with some phantoms on her own. After classes for the day, they all gather at the bus stop to wait for the mystery bus to arrive. When it does, Haru quickly summons his sketchbook to begin sketching the bus, only to get bewitched in the process. Seeing this makes Mai realize that the phantoms still have an effect on him, so when he heads in with Reina, Mai joins them to see if she can save them. She then finds herself in a strange world and sees the strange house. As she hears their voices, she concludes with Ruru, who accompanied her, that they must have been bewitched, and she barges in to get her friends. Instead, Reina just calls her sister, and they all rush to hug her, thinking she is Reina's runaway sister. After that, they serve her a meal, and the pig-looking parents start to talk about how they would never be harsh on her anymore. Hearing this makes her realize that they are acting out Reina's true feelings, but Ruru tells her not to fall for it as she continues to munch on the meal given to her. Ruru then gives her a taste of the meal, and as she swallows it, she immediately becomes bewitched. Due to that, she blends in with the family. Shortly after, Haru goes to use the restroom, and while at it, he realizes that he is no longer bewitched. With that, he calls Reina to the restroom and starts to bore her by reciting a history of how restrooms are considered a portal to various dimensions, so it should be easier for her to snap out of her fantasy in it. He then starts to shake her in a bid to regain her senses, but she refuses to budge. So he suddenly hugs her, thereby causing her to regain consciousness, and she immediately slams him into the toilet bowl for trespassing. Moments later, Reina sadly stares at the pig-looking parents talking to a bewitched Mai, silently hoping that her real parents could be like that with her sister one day. She then opens up to Haru about how she feels like she belongs in the strange world because everything just seems so perfect in it. Just then, the pig-looking parents take her to a dimension where they ask her to choose between returning to her former world and staying in the current world. In response, Reina walks towards them, but Haru runs to stop her because making such a decision will keep her stuck in the world forever. Realizing that he can't catch up with her, he reveals that his own mother abandoned him and his father just as his sister left her. Despite that, he stayed with his father because leaving would only break his heart, while still hoping his mother would one day return. He tells her that if her sister comes back and she's gone, her sister will be heartbroken. He begs her not to lose focus and to return with him, and hearing this makes her cry bitterly as she takes a step back. The pig-looking parents bid her farewell and disappear while she just continues to cry her eyes out, feeling sorry for them. The following day, Reina apologizes to the others for stressing them over her issue, and she lets them know that she had told her parents about her involvement with the club because she feels it is high time they knew. The following week, Minae embarks on a mission to stop a phantom truck from causing havoc on the highway. After she is done, the truck driver thanks her for her work, and as he starts to talk about how the truck was initially obstructing the highway, Minae excuses herself because she does not have time for petty talk. She has always loved to keep her distance from others since her abilities surfaced years ago, so when she overhears Shosuke downloading her life story to Haru during lunch break about how she used to be popular until she suddenly decided to become distant, she shrugs. Even though the boys are on the verge of peeing their pants, After lunch break, she meets up with Himeno for her next task. She learns that she needs to take down a phantom that is attacking rabbit hutches and the birdhouses at different schools because their school might be the next. A few hours later, Haru heads home in the company of Reina and Mai, only for them to see Minaze walking alone, and they wonder what she is up to. Haru quickly excuses himself to go meet Minaze to apologize because he still feels bad for what happened during lunch break. Soon after, Minaze ambushes Kurume, who was initially feeding some rabbits at the school's hutch, to ask if she is the one on feeding duty. Right on cue, the phantom appears, and seeing how huge the three-headed dragon is, Kurume quickly runs to hide. A bold Minaze casts her singing spell on the phantom to block the phantom's attack, thereby leaving the phantom in shock. Haru arrives and sees the phantom, but before he can do anything, the phantom rushes to him, so Minaze pushes him out of the way to avoid being cooked. The phantom then uses the chance to blow gas at Minaze, which makes it impossible for her to sing because of how toxic the gas is. Seeing this, Kurumi summons her teddy bear named Albrecht to go save Minaze, and the teddy transforms into a life-size plushie on steroids and punches the phantom into the atmosphere. Mai suddenly arrives to deliver the final kick to the phantom, and the phantom disappears. After that, Haru rushes to Minaze to see if she is okay, but she just coughs in response while Kurumi sighs in relief. Shortly after, Reina treats Minaze at the infirmary, and Haru thanks Kurume for helping them out earlier. Kurume uses the chance to introduce herself as their junior and shows Haru her teddy bear. As they continue to discuss, Minaze suddenly interrupts them to announce that she will defeat the phantom herself. Mai tells Minaze not to be ridiculous since she can't even use her powers currently and suggests she take a rest, but Minaze assures her that her voice will return, so she should quit playing mommy duties. Annoyed, Mai fires back that she has no right to address her like that, and as the back and forth between the girls goes on, Himeno barges in to suggest they have a race to determine who will defeat the phantom. Mai likes the idea, but Minaze just clenches her fist in anger because she does not like Himeno interfering. So when Himeno suggests Minaze get some rest, Minaze barges out in anger. Haru then tells them that he is going to help Minaze before heading out. Reina feels Haru is being nice towards Minaze because he feels indebted to Minaze because Minaze lost his voice while trying to help him earlier. However, a determined Mai, who just wants to win the race to face the phantom, goes to meet Kurumi and asks if she would love to join her team as a reserve member, thereby leaving Kurumi completely stunned. In the meantime, Minaze tells Haru, who is still following her like a lost puppy, to go find something useful to do, but he refuses. When she starts coughing, Haru moves closer to check on her, but she just claims that she will defeat the phantom no matter what. Curious, Haru asks if she has a beef with this particular phantom, but she ignores him and continues walking. Still, he continues to follow her as she surveys all the birdhouses in the area for the phantom till late in the evening, when he eventually gets tired. The following morning, Haru arrives at Minaze's house to check on her and escort her to school. On the way, they run into Mai, Reina, and Kurumi, who are patrolling the area for the phantom, and Minaze and Mai get into a heated argument like two alpha females trying to show who is boss. Haru quickly tries to break the tension between the two girls, but Mai ignores him because she is still angry that he chose to help Minaze. Minaze continues walking, and Haru rushes after her, while Mai complains to the others that Haru is acting like a virgin trying to get laid by a baddie. A few minutes later, Minaze finds the phantom and attacks it, but the phantom blocks her attack, so Haru brings out his sketchbook and summons Marchosias. Marchosias distracts the phantom till it disappears out of frustration. Haru then rushes to go check on Minaze, but she ignores him and goes to look for the phantom, determined to end it herself. Haru wonders why she is so determined to prove herself before rushing to follow her, only to see that she is long gone. Worried, he goes to report to Himeno, and Himeno informs him that Minasa's power was actually triggered by a phantom that was attacking animals at her preschool. Though she sealed the phantom, her classmates, teacher, and even parents became scared of her. Her parents eventually shipped her off to a phantom control agency, causing her to put herself on airplane mode ever since. Himeno points out that the phantom she is looking for must probably be similar to the one that she encountered while she was younger, which may be why she is hellbent on finding it. Soon after, Haru receives a call from Ruru, who tells him Minaze's current location. In the meantime, Minaze faces off with the phantom, and as they continue to fight each other, the phantom releases its gas on her, and she collapses from the effect. The phantom then proceeds to cast his blue fire to finish her off, but Marchosias suddenly arrives to stop the phantom and keep it distracted. Haru then uses the chance to pick up Minaze just in time for Mina and the others to arrive. Kurumi quickly summons Albrecht to deal with the phantom, while Mai casts her spell to deliver the final blow to the phantom. Haru quickly sketches the phantom in his sketchbook and uses it to seal the phantom before rushing to check on Minaze. Reina suggests they call an ambulance, but Himeno just encourages her to use her inbuilt healing ability, and Reina complies. After Reina is done, Haru shows Minaze that the phantom has been sealed, but Minaze just walks off because she is flustered. Mai then thanks Kurumi for helping out, promising to call on her in the future if the need arises. The following morning, Haru sees Minae waiting for him outside his apartment, and she thanks him for helping her out, which leaves him completely stunned. The following morning, while Kurumi heads to school, she thinks about Mai's words about them relying on her again if they need help. Being someone who constantly battles with identity, Kurumi wonders if she'll ever be able to help them again, as getting herself to school alone daily is a stretch for her. As a matter of fact, the only reason she's heading to school is that she promised her friends that she'd like to trade cute stickers with them. On the way, she gets to a zebra crossing filled with puddles of water from recent rainfall. She then convinces herself that if she's able to cross the road successfully without stepping into any of the water puddles, she believes she'll be able to do a good job helping out Haru and his friends once more. Clinging to Albrecht, her teddy bear, she begins to cross the road, doing her best to avoid all the puddles. Meanwhile, Haru, who had also been going through that route on his way to school with Ruru, sees her in the middle of the road. He then casually calls out to her, extending his greetings. But little did he know that her entire social interaction for the day depended on this little gamble she had decided to take. Seeing him, Kurumi gets flustered and loses her footing, but while she's about to fall into a large puddle of water, Haru rushes into the middle of the road to save her. To his shock, the unexpected happens as a bright light appears from nowhere as soon as he touches her. The water puddle then turns into a portal, which they all end up falling into in an instant. Seconds later, Kurumi, Haru, and Ruru find themselves in a fantasy world filled with gigantic mushrooms and strange trees. Shortly after they arrive, a group of teddy bears in funny armor show up, introducing themselves as knights who have come to escort her to their master, Prince Salmon. According to them, Kurumi is their long-lost princess, who apparently ran away after getting engaged to their master. While the knights try to forcefully take her, Haru tries to stop them, but then realizes that he left his sketchbook in the real world. Seeing how useless he is without his sketchbook, all he can do is watch as the princess in distress gets dragged away by the wicked guards. Just when it starts to seem like all hope is lost, Albrecht appears from nowhere and takes down one of the knights. Seeing him, the rest of the knights get terrified, as he is known to be the strongest knight in the entire land. They're all then forced to retreat, promising to be back to settle the scores. When they leave, Albrecht apologizes to Kurumi for leaving her side for an instant, but she waves it off and embraces him, telling him how happy she is to see him talk. Albrecht then takes them to his hideout, where he fills them in about everything. He explains that one day, a clan known as the Higumans suddenly attacked the forest from the north, unaliving Kurumi's parents, who were the rulers of the land. And since he wasn't strong enough to take down the entire force, he had sworn from that moment that he would protect the princess, while finding a way to reclaim the throne for her. Albrecht then turns to Haru and Ruru, and thanks them for bringing the lost princess back home, leaving them confused. Shortly after, a few loyal companions from the kingdom barge in with excitement to confirm if their beloved princess is truly back. Albrecht is then forced to intervene and lead them out, as he explains that the princess needs to rest. When they leave, Kurumi tries to explain that she's no princess, but Albrecht only ends up handing her a family heirloom, which he claims belongs to her. He then steps out to patrol the area. Shortly after he leaves, Haru puts the pieces together so he's able to figure out what's going on. He explains that after Kurumi must have been under some pressure in the real world, she must have created this fantasy world within her mind as a means of escape from reality. He also explains that since she created the world, she most likely holds an unimaginable amount of power within it. But what still stands odd to him is the fact that things have suddenly taken a wrong turn even within her world, so he circles clues that it must be as a result of some kind of psychological troubles she's currently facing. Suddenly, Albrecht bursts in, announcing that they're under attack by Prince Salmon and his entire force. Meanwhile, back in the real world, while Mai and Reina wonder if someone as young as Kurumi is cool with fighting phantoms alongside them, Minae assures them that the little girl happens to be stronger than she appears. Back in the fantasy world, Albrecht and the rest are forced to retreat from his hideout to avert the approaching crisis. While they retreat, Albrecht tells the princess to try to escape while he stays back to fight the advancing forces, but Kurumi stands against it. Suddenly, an arrow from Prince Salmon's forces hits Albrecht, injuring him in the process. Thanks to one of the mushroom traps he had set beforehand, they're able to get Albrecht to a cave where Kurumi tends to his wounds immediately. Minutes later, they're discovered again by Prince Salmon, who has somehow developed an indestructible weapon to defeat them and forcefully take Kurumi as his queen. While he slowly approaches, Albrecht tries to instruct the princess to run, but she refuses, claiming it's her turn to protect him. Clinging to the family heirloom, she steps outside the cave to challenge the incoming danger. Prince Salmon asks her one more time to be his queen, and she turns him down just like how your crush turned you down back in 8th grade. Enraged, the prince decides to destroy her for good, but while he approaches, Kurumi feels a sudden power surge into her body as she transforms into a powerful princess. She then uses the heirloom as a weapon to smoke the prince's royal cakes in an instant. Seeing how he has been humbled, Prince Salmon grovels at Kurumi's feet like a sore loser and apologizes before running away. Suddenly, things revert to normal as they meet each other back in the real world. Kurumi also notices that the injury on Albrecht's body is gone, relieving her completely. Kurumi ends up following Haru to school, where they meet the rest of the group, who announce a new phantom request they have received. Understanding her better, Haru tries to cover up for Kurumi, explaining that she won't be able to join, but Kurumi interrupts him, expressing how she'd love to be a part of the mission. She then holds on to Albrecht while the entire team sets out to face the next mystery. The following morning on the way to school, Haru feels an unusual wave of tiredness in his bones, but when he talks about it, Ruru ends up blaming it on the fact that he has a constant habit of staying up late to goon to OnlyFans models. Later that day during class, Haru's urge to sleep gets overwhelming, and he's only able to fight it thanks to Ruru, who keeps pulling at his hair intermittently. Looking around, he's then shocked to discover that everyone else, including the teacher, has fallen asleep as well. After class, he notices a large number of students sleeping in unusual areas around the school, raising his suspicions. During lunch period, he heads to the school cafeteria, where he suddenly develops a strong craving for fish. Linking up with the rest of the girls, they all take turns to eat as much fish as they can in the cafeteria. Meanwhile, Minase, who had fallen asleep in a different spot, suddenly feels a strange sensation in a distant location. Waking up, she decides to trace down the sensation, but is surprised to see nothing but an old abandoned building, which has apparently been sealed off. When she talks about it with the others later, Mai reveals that it's a building commonly known as the Cat Mansion. She further explains that it used to belong to a very kind person who usually accommodated all the stray cats in the neighborhood. Now that the owner is no more, the cats still visit the building, but don't normally meet anyone at home. She explains that over the years, some students have made it a habit to visit the building from time to time to take care of the stray cats, but there have always been reports about them getting severely injured in the process, so the school had been forced to seal the building off. Shortly after, Kurume shows up in the room and is shocked to meet the group in compromising positions, neither of which they were aware of. Regardless, she decides to state her business. Apparently, a friend of hers named Arina had lost her cat, and despite looking everywhere, she still hasn't been able to find it. So Kurume had come to request the group's assistance. Luckily for her, Haru and the rest happily accept the request and make posters for the missing cat. While they hang the posters around the neighborhood, they happen to walk by a cat food section in a convenience store, and before they realize it, they start going crazy over the smell of cat food. It's at that moment that they realize that something is definitely wrong with them. The following morning, when Haru gets to school, he's beyond astonished to discover that most of the other students, including his entire group, have developed cat-like features overnight. Kurume, however, had lost the ability to converse properly, as she's now mumbling words. While they wonder what could be the cause, Minase reveals that a phantom must have been behind it. She then leads the entire team to the cat mansion, where she believes the cause lies. While they approach the building, Kurumi picks up the sound of a cat, which she's convinced belongs to Rudolph, Arina's cat. The group then confirms that the mansion is indeed the source of their problems. Advancing into the mansion, the group begins their search for Rudolph, but is only met with a bunch of old random items lying around. After searching all the rooms on the first floor, the group decides to move to the next floor to continue their search. The same process repeats itself as they keep moving from floor to floor without finding anything tangible. The group then starts to notice similar patterns as they climb each floor, so they realize that they're being toyed with. Eventually, what seemed like a two-story building from the outside turns into a castle with unlimited floors, so the team is forced to stop exploring. They're then forced to head into one of the rooms to rest. As soon as they get into the room, they see Rudolph, the lost cat, on a chair, but before they can make a move, the chair closes up on it and vanishes through the wall. The group then realizes that the phantom has been trying with them this entire time. They try to leave the room, but realize that the doors have been jammed shut. They equally consider jumping out the window, but after realizing how high up they are, they reconsider. Suddenly, a gigantic cat appears above them and starts manipulating the building to attack them. Minase and Mia immediately begin their chants and try to use their powers against it, but Haru stops them, pointing out that they could end up causing the building to collapse on them. The phantom then summons a cat castle in the middle of the room, inviting them in. Seeing the castle, the team gets skeptical, but Kurume heads in without hesitation, so they're forced to go after her. For a brief moment, they meet themselves in a narrow, grassy way, crawling towards a light at the far end, but the entire area vanishes in an instant as they fall into an empty land. They then see the giant cat carrying the entire building next to a group of high school girls. Seeing the girls, Haru instantly recognizes them from the old pictures they found in the building earlier. He's then able to figure out that the cat didn't mean any harm and was simply trying to protect its memories. Without hesitating, Reina and Kurumi approach the cat and acknowledge its pain. They then ask for Rudolph, and to their surprise, the cat hands him over willingly. Excited, they both embrace the cat. In the next moment, the entire group meets back in the mansion with all their cat-like features gone. Later that day, they decide to do the building a favor by giving it a thorough cleaning to help it grow livelier. To thank them for finding her cat, Rina joins them in the cleaning process. Even Miss Himeno tags along, ensuring the building is as clean as possible. While cleaning, the teacher reveals that she has consulted the school and that they have permitted them to use the building for whatever they like. They all then decide to turn it into a tea house, which students from the school can come and visit whenever they want. One morning during class, the whole environment suddenly becomes hot as everyone starts sweating profusely. Suddenly, Ruru bursts in, announcing that a hot spring filled with phantom monkeys has magically appeared next to the school building, explaining the heat. While wondering what kind of approach to take, Shosuke, one of the washed-up side character students, gets fed up. So he takes off his clothes and tries to jump into the water, only to get knocked into space by the phantom boss. Reina asks if Haru can seal it, but he replies that he needs to see the phantom's entire body before he can draw it perfectly, and since most of it is hidden within the pool, it'll be impossible. He suggests that Reina try to suck it instead, but she reveals that the phantom has to already be weakened before that can happen. Due to the intense heat wave, the school authority announces that unless something is done about the situation, most of their classes are going to be taking place over the summer break. Seeing how that would be troublesome, the students decide to take matters into their own hands. First off, a student with a powerful phantom familiar tries to attack the boss, but his familiar gets humbled instantly. Next up, another student with an impressive ability summons thousands of places from the sky and makes them rain on the spring, but the monkey ends up tanking them all, turning it into a circus show as it impressively juggles the dangerous blades for aura points. Then Shosuke, who had miraculously returned from his last adventure, prepares a massive fireball attack to destroy the monkey, but ends up getting sent on yet another expedition. After an unending series of students get smoked by the phantom, a powerful team known as the Beach Angels shows up, hoping to make a difference. Given that they each have water affinities coupled with their teamwork, they're able to gain the upper hand for a brief moment before having their rare ends handed to them on a silver platter. After cooking them in battle, the phantom boss then proceeds to violate the poor students, traumatizing everyone else. Shortly after, Mai decides to have a go at the phantoms. As soon as she steps out, the phantoms get completely mesmerized by her stunning looks. Knowing that getting into the phantom's domain would give them the upper hand, Mai tries to avoid the water while approaching them, but she gets so carried away in her objective that she doesn't notice one of the monkeys slips a banana peel under her foot. She then loses her footing and ends up falling into the water. As a result, her entire energy gets drained, and like that's not enough, the monkey still goes on to violate her, while everyone else watches in despair. Haru tries to help by summoning Marchosias, but the mutt ends up disappointing him due to its fear of water. Similarly, Kurumi tries to help by sending Albrecht into the spring, but it only ends up getting soggy after absorbing too much water. When Minase tries her attack, the water completely protects the monkeys. She then ends up passing out from too much heat. Later, while brainstorming, Haru and his friends conclude that to stand a chance against the phantom, they need to find a way to sneak up on it before it notices them. The best idea they're able to come up with is dressing up Haru and Mai as a horse. At first, it seems like their plan is actually going to work, as they make it halfway into the spring, but things take a wild turn as the smaller monkeys suddenly start to climb them. Their cover is then eventually blown. Recognizing Mai as the hottest from earlier, the phantom ends up violating her once more while Haru drags her to safety. Seeing how sneaking up on the phantom isn't an option, the team decides to try luring it out instead, so Haru can sketch its full body. First, Reina heads out in her swimsuit, trying to entice the perverted monkey. For a minute, things seem to be going smoothly, but just as the monkey is about to make it out of the water, it loses interest and heads back. Next, Kurumi tries to use the weapon she got from her fantasy world to take down the phantom, but only ends up getting traumatized by the creature. Minase equally tries enticing the creature, but it doesn't end well for her, either. Running out of ideas, Haru randomly remembers an interesting fact about how female monkeys normally have red cheese whenever they're in heat. Given that Mai is the only one the phantom has repeatedly shown interest in, he persuades her to help him out with his plan. Mai, who is still traumatized from her previous encounters with the phantom, outrightly refuses, but Haru assures her that her mission is just to lure out the monkey and that he will seal it before it gets a chance to violate her again. She then reluctantly agrees to help with the plan. As discussed, Haru paints her cheeks red and leads her out to entice the monkey. The moment the monkey sees her cheeks, it goes bananas, as it steps out of the string for the first time just to grab her. In the process, Mai ends up tripping over a paint can, which soils Haru's sketchbook, ruining the entire plan. Desperate to keep his promise to Mai, he decides to use his trump card, which he has always been saving for the perfect moment. To everyone's surprise, Haru, the weak MC, uses a special technique called Abramelon's Finger and summons Cthulhu, a powerful octopus that descended on Earth ages ago. Cthulhu then effortlessly mops the floor with the phantom. As a result, the group can capture it. While they try to finish it for good, they notice the phantom boss and its underlings shedding tears, so they get curious. Ruru then snoops around for information and can find out the cause. Apparently, the Phantom boss recently got dumped, so it was simply trying to help its wounded heart in the hot spring. Finding out about the story, Miss Himeno spawns out of nowhere, claiming to have the solution to their problem at hand. In an instant, she dresses Haru up in a monkey costume with red cheeks, and surprisingly, the sus monkey eats it up. Like that's not enough, she then turns Haru into a bride and marries him off to the monkey before he even realizes what's going on. One afternoon, during extracurricular activities in school, a student named Ayumi approaches Haru and his friends. She presents a short script she wrote to them, pleading that they acted out with her in an upcoming drama competition. Haru and the rest try to reduce the offer, but Ayume persists, pleading that she's the only member of the drama club and will not be able to act the entire script on her own. Eventually, they agree to help her. When they head to the old drama club building for rehearsals, Minase can't shake off the feeling of a phantom being nearby, so she stays on alert. Ruru then helps her loosen up, convincing her that if at all there's a phantom nearby, it must be a harmless kind that just genuinely has a passion for theater arts. She then decides to play along until she learns what kind of phantom it is. All of a sudden, Ayumi switches up on the group and starts bossing them around, forcing everyone into their respective roles. She gets so strict that she barely gives them breaks during sessions. After rehearsals, while they all head back home later that evening, she apologizes for being too hard on them. She explains that the drama club has lost in the preliminaries for 10 years in a row now, and that's why she always gets worked up whenever it comes to theater. The rest of the group then assures her that they'll be sure to make a difference this time around. The following day, Haru and his friends use their influence to bring a couple of extra students to help out with the background effects, and Ayumi really appreciates them for it. They then begin intense rehearsals ahead of the competition while working on each other's strengths and weaknesses. On the day of the competition, the team watches nervously as different clubs take turns to present their pieces. Eventually, it gets to their turn, so everybody gets in position, just like they rehearsed. Minutes into their session, Haru and Reina, who pose as wandering samurai, run into Ayume, who is dressed as a demon. While they proceed with the script, the unexpected happens as Ayumi suddenly transforms into an actual demon. Shocked, they hesitate for a second, but eventually decide to continue with the script. Together, they defeat the demon, who eventually transforms back into Ayumi. Seeing the unique performance, the judge and the rest of the audience are in shock, but they decide to wait till the end before making rash decisions. Meanwhile, on the stage, Ayumi apologizes to the rest of the team for not telling them the truth this whole time. She reveals that she's actually a phantom that was born out of the defeat and frustration of the drama club over the years. She had disguised herself as a normal drama club member and manipulated their memories, so they wouldn't figure her out because she believed her true identity would scare them away. After confessing and expressing her true passion for theater, Ayume genuinely apologizes to the group on stage and asks them to seal her. But to her surprise, they take her hand instead and ask her to go on with the show, as they've worked too hard to get here. She then gets really emotional as they embrace her. For a second, the group forgets that they're on stage, but they're shortly reminded by the applause of the audience, who assume the whole act as part of the play. The group then gets back on set as they act out the rest of the script according to what they rehearsed. When a war is about to break out among the samurai, Haru intervenes as a mutually respected figure to reveal the true scheme of the demon. They all then join hands to fight the evil demon. Ayumi transforms into a demon once more, but this time, things feel a lot different. The entire stage transforms into a busy town with villagers going about their day. She kidnaps Mai, an important character in the story, and retreats, forcing the rest to chase her. The team is then forced to bond and work together to find them in the busy town. Eventually, they find them in a distant building, but are suddenly attacked by some dangerous-looking shadow monsters, forcing the team members to fight for their lives. Meanwhile, while the demon leads Mai to a riverside, Mai breaks herself loose from its grip and suddenly attacks it, catching it off guard. The rest of the team then joins her shortly and lands coordinated attacks on the demon, defeating it on the spot. As soon as they defeat the demon, the stage changes back to normal, and the audience applauds them like never before. Weeks later, after the drama club bags the trophy, Ayumi gathers the entire crew and starts drilling them for another competition, making them regret not sealing her when they had the chance. One morning, while Haru prepares for school, he gets so carried away while searching for his tie that he ends up stepping on Ruru, who had been lying peacefully on the floor. Annoyed, Ruru throws a tantrum around his face, but he knocks her aside with one single swing. Eventually, he finds the tie and leaves for school, while Ruru sulks to herself. Later that day, while Ruru rants to herself at the park, she gets approached by a strange woman, who introduces herself as the benevolent witch phantom. Apparently, she goes around granting wishes to phantoms who need them. Hearing her deal, Ruru immediately gets suspicious, as she wonders what the witch would request in return. When she asks for the catch, to her surprise, the witch reveals that there are no consequences, as that's solely what she exists for. Excited, Ruru takes up the offer and wishes to be human-sized. The witch then gives her some conditions. Firstly, if she becomes human-sized, she will lose the ability to fly. Secondly, if someone finds out her true identity, the wish will be reversed, and she'd return to normal. After thinking about it deeply, Ruru agrees to the condition, but she desperately hopes Minase doesn't sniff her out with her sharp senses. The witch then proceeds with the wish, transforming Ruru into an attractive student before vanishing. Later that day, Ruru enrolls in Haru's class as a new student. When she's asked to introduce herself, she knows that saying her real name would blow her cover, so she just calls herself Natsuno. She's then fixed in an empty seat next to Haru. Excited at the thought of receiving classes next to Haru, Ruru tries to fly over to him, but ends up losing aura points as she trips in front of the entire class. When she gets to her seat, one of the boys points out to Haru that he looks a bit like Ruru, but Haru cuts him off, stating that Ruru could only dream of becoming a baddie like Natsuno. Ruru then quietly gets pissed off. A few minutes into the class, Ruru starts dozing off, so she tries to excuse herself for a walk, but Haru stops her, explaining that things don't work that way. During the next period, Haru tells her they'll be switching classrooms. While he tries to lead her to the next location, Ruru, once again, forgets she's now human and tries flying out the window. She then ends up falling onto a tree, making everyone else genuinely worried. During extracurricular activities, most of her classmates try to invite Ruru to their clubs, so she's forced to test out her abilities. But it later becomes clear that the only thing she has a talent for is performing terribly in whatever she does. Due to her pretty privilege, everyone forgives her, pretending like she didn't almost become a nuclear weapon aimed at destroying the entire school. After failing terribly in all the activities offered to her by her classmates, Ruru decides to follow Haru to his club. Seeing how she doesn't have any special abilities, Haru hesitates about bringing her in, but eventually agrees. When she's taken to the club room, the rest of the girls ask questions about her previous school, so Ruru is forced to cook up a cover-up story on the spot. She tells an obvious lie about how both parents passed shortly before she was born. When Haru points out her mistake, she immediately reconstructs her story, making it seem like she was abandoned as a youngster and was forced to go through hardship. To her surprise, everyone, including Minase, eats up the story. They apologize for the hardship she had to endure and assure her that she's welcome to hang out with them whenever she wants. They invite her to a fireworks festival after school, and Ruru agrees to go with them, as she has always been looking forward to the event. On the way to the festival, the rest of the girls ask about Ruru, and Haru tells them about the incident that happened in the morning. They all then roast him hard, calling him a waste of human space, giving Ruru some sense of inner joy. Meanwhile, while the witch flies around, she finds a sad firework phantom, so she decides to grant it a wish as well. During the festival, after walking around for a while, Ruru's feet begin to hurt. She then realizes that being a human might actually be tougher than she imagined. Haru notices the bruises appearing on her feet, so he gets bandages and applies them to her feet. While he applies the bandages, she asks him about Ruru, trying to find out what he really thinks of her. Unknown to him that she's the one he's currently holding the conversation with, Haru explains that she's his annoying phantom, whom he has grown really attached to. He tells her about how he accidentally offended her on his way to school and also how he intends to make it up to her by buying her favorite drink. Hearing him talk about her in that manner, Ruru gets really excited as she realizes that she might have been too harsh on him. Suddenly, the firework phantom from earlier appears from nowhere and starts terrorizing the whole area, causing panic among the people. Minase tries to use her ability to destroy it, but the others stop her, stating that it would only make it explode, injuring hundreds of people in the process. Reina tries to eat it, but Mai stops her, telling her it would eventually lead to a terrible stomach upset, as it would end up exploding in her stomach. She tries to attack the phantom herself, but it easily evades her attack with its air advantage. Kurume tries to take it down as well, but teddies apparently aren't known for flying. Haru then arrives and decides to try to seal it, but the phantom grabs him and carries him up to the sky while getting closer to exploding. Ruru then confronts the witch, who reveals that the only way to stop the ravaging phantom is to remove the necklace she gave it. Out of options, Ruru reveals her true identity to the girls, so she transforms back to normal, taking them by surprise. She catches up with the phantom and tries to take off the necklace, but is unable to. Desperate, she convinces the phantom to let Haru go, taking her in his stead. Despite Haru's protest against it, the phantom agrees. It then takes Ruru up to the sky as it explodes. While Haru bawls his eyes out, thinking he lost his one true companion, Ruru casually shows up next to him and starts teasing him about it. They both then settle their disputes as they enjoy the rest of the festival. A few days ago, the team enjoyed a meal at a restaurant, and as usual, Reina ate like it was her last meal. When she tried apologizing, the team reminded her that she had earned the reward and it was okay to splurge once in a while. That was when they heard the brats at the restaurant making a ruckus, so, like old-timers, they went down memory lane. While some of them blatantly couldn't remember what their younger days were like, Mai was unsure about hers. Later that night, as Haru wrapped up soldering the handheld device he'd been working on, he tried looking for the driver disc and came across his first grade essay, so he read it and it brought back memories. With that, he goes to bed, but the following day, when he wakes up, he has regressed to a cute boy. At first, he tries on a lot of clothes before coming across one his size. He then heads to school and goes to his class with students his size, but no one recognizes him. He gets confused and runs into Kurumi outside, so she takes him to meet a teacher to help. The teacher then checks the class register and doesn't see any boy named Haru in the class he claimed. While at it, Kurumi observes him keenly, and once she sees he's holding Haru's bag, she realizes what has happened, so she takes him to meet the others, who confirm that Haru has shrunk. There, they overwhelm him with lots of questions that his brain struggles to process them one by one. Once they learn he doesn't remember any of them, Mai butts in by calming him down. She finds him oddly cute, but then gets pissed at him when she realizes that his mannerisms are still the same and he's been a nerd since he was little. The others promise to investigate the matter, so Himeno tells Haru to go to his current class for the time being. When he gets there, introduces himself, explaining his situation to everyone. All the girls fall for his riz, and they surround him like he's a cute toy. Later that day, after school, they go to his place to look for clues behind his regression, but they don't see any phantoms. Knowing that they can't leave Haru by himself, or, better still, with Ruru, Mai offers to house him, and he grudgingly accepts. On their way home, she goes to a store to get him some clothes, and he ends up picking lots of books and sweets. As they head home, she struggles with the bulky load they bought, and Haru makes terrible side remarks. As if that wasn't enough, when he gets inside and sees how messy her room is, he flames her for it. At the end of the day, she tidies up the place and wishes she were the one who moved into his place. As the days pass, Mai continues with her day-to-day activities, and the stress gets to her. Her friends feel for her, seeing how exhausted she is in all areas of life just by trying to cater to Haru. Mai even asks Himeno to help, but the teacher, who is too broke to afford child support, comes up with an excuse. Seeing how concerned the girls are for Mai, Haru realizes he's a burden, and he feels bad about it. Some hours after school, while heading home, he sees a boy playing with his parents in the park. Later that night, after having dinner and freshening up, as Haru and Mai prepare to sleep, Haru offers to work, but she brushes him off, reminding him that no one will employ a boy his age. She dotes on him like a big sister, and he gets embarrassed and used to it. When he goes to bed, he gets scared by echoes of thunder, so Mai pats him and offers to support him, since he's always keeping things to himself. On hearing this, Haru reveals that he's always been alone since his dad always travels and his mom left his family from a young age. Mai relates to him, and she tells him about how she only had her mom at one point, and the old lady was awfully similar to him. Wanting to elevate Haru's spirit, Mai offers to take him to play in the park the next day. She tickles Haru, and he agrees. The following day after work, she plays with him in the park, and while at it, her body reaches its limit. After having fun for a while, Haru tells her he wants to stay at her place. All of a sudden, a sand phantom manifests itself in the park, and when Mai tries to get rid of it, she collapses out of exhaustion. Worried, Haru runs to her, neglecting her advice to leave, but the Sandman smacks him away. He gets frustrated for being powerless, and as he watches the Sandman try to crush, Mai Haru wishes from the depths of his heart that he were no longer a brat. In that instant, he returns to his old self, and the transformation rips away his clothes like Hulk Hogan. Haru then summons Cthulhu, who flushes the Sandman away like a used tissue. He rushes to Mai, and she freaks out when she sees he's more ripped than prime Jason Statham. Later that evening at his place, she realizes he has lost all the memories of what he did when he was with her, and she feels bad since they won't know why he regressed. Haru then brings out his childhood letter, and he leaves it to attend to the others. Mai picks it up, and as she reads through it, she learns that it was an essay he made up about having fun playing with his parents in the park, when in reality, he only saw it happen to someone else. She feels very bad for him after learning about it, but then goes to join the others in the dining room, who tease Haru about wishing he were still younger. Time passes, and one time in school, Mai's team fights off some phantoms on the field, and with their teamwork, they easily take them down and seal them. Everyone applauds them and mostly cheers for Minase. Later in the cafeteria, as they go through their grades, seeing that they have the highest points in phantom hunting, Mai reminds them that summer break is close by, and they cheer, knowing that they'll be going to the beach for camp. Even Reina tells them her parents permitted her to join them, and they are glad her parents are paying close attention to her. Minase, who has been paying attention to the handheld Haru had given her earlier, tells them it's a communication device used to access Aliyashiki servers. Before she can continue on the subject, her juniors call out to her and ask for a photograph, and she struggles to keep a straight face while doing it. After they leave, Minase complains about how she's had no rest from the students and has received lots of letters from them. Haru, on the other hand, notes that some people are suffering from success, and he wishes he were in Minase's shoes. After school hours, as 3 students from another school go home, they talk about how a phantom has recently come into their area and been attacking people. Just then, they spot a shady lady approaching them and conclude she's the phantom they were just talking about. So they charge at her with their special powers, but she whoops them and leaves them unconscious. The next day in class, Himeno briefs the students about the incident, telling them that the phantom who attacked the boys goes by the name Enigma. She informs them that they do not know Enigma's origin, but all her victims have their special abilities stolen. Himeno then warns them to be cautious, always move in large groups, and if they ever encounter Enigma, they should run away. Later that day, after school, Haru and his crew worry about Enigma, since the Aleshiki and the Phantom Agency have no control over the situation. Suddenly, they hear a scream, so Mai and Minase rush to the park. Before joining them, Haru tells Kurume to stay put with Reina. On getting there, they see Enigma fighting the last of the Beach Angel girls. As the girl tries to warn them about Enigma, Enigma teleports and locks lips with her, draining her ability with her mouth. Mai quickly jumps into fight, and as soon as Enigma tries to attack them, Minase fires an attack at her. Haru quickly summons Cthulhu, who splashes a wave of water at Enigma, and then he uses his book to seal her. Without giving them time to celebrate, her picture fades away from the book. Ruru counts it as a success, but Haru feels uneasy about it. The Beach Angel girls are later taken to Aleshiki Hospital to be examined, but then their powers don't return to them. Haru and the others grow cautious, but after many days, and they don't hear any news about Enigma, they decide to enjoy their summer break. During that time, Haru gets a surprise call from his mom asking them to meet up, so he goes to the park to see her. She tries getting close to him, but he acts cold and distant, and then he asks her why she suddenly wants to return to his life. The woman tells him how she's always thought about him and wants to spend time with him, but he doesn't buy it. Seeing that she isn't wanted, she takes her leave, but then a memory of her leaving flashes across his mind, so he changes his stance and calls out to her before running to meet her. There, he forgives her for leaving him, and she cries. With that, they make up, and she lives with him like the old days. As the days go by, they start bonding again, but Ruru feels weird about it and even suggests Haru's mom is a phantom, but Haru denies it, given that she remembers his past memories. After about a week, his crew is pissed at him for slacking off and exterminating phantoms, but then Ruru shows up and informs them about how he's been spending time with his mom. Just then, the girls see Haru and his mom leaving a shopping mall. While the others commend Haru's old lady for looking pretty, Minase feels a weird aura from her, so she tells the girls about it. Given that the aura is different from a phantom's, Mai suggests they contact Himeno before going to visit Haru. Some hours later, they drop by at Haru's place, and his mom warmly welcomes them. During dinner, she befriends all of them and then asks Haru which of them he has a crush on. The boy freezes in horror, and as he tries to talk himself out of it, the girls blush, remembering the sweet times they spent with him. Mai then sees an identity card in Haru's mom's pocket, and she remembers she had messaged Himeno, so she goes outside to talk to her. Himeno reveals that Haru's mom has been missing for weeks, and the person likely with them isn't her but a phantom. Mai puts 2 and 2 together and realizes that Enigma must have gotten Haru's mom before coming for Haru. When Mai turns around, she sees Enigma standing right behind her, and Enigma punches her and tries to get rid of her. Haru and the others show up, and they learn the truth, so the girls attack her, but Enigma seizes Haru and gives him a wet one, stealing his powers away. After that, she leaves Haru's mom and tells the girls she'll put his powers to good use. With that, she flies off before disappearing. While the others rush to the collapsed family and try to get them to the hospital, Mai spots Ruru collapse and wonders if Enigma had gotten to her. Some days later, at Aleshiki Hospital, they learn that Haru's mom isn't waking up, and it's a result of Enigma taking over her mind and memory. As they wonder if she'll recover when Enigma gets sealed, the nurse offers to tell them anything she finds out about the condition. While leaving the hospital, they learn that Enigma attacked some people recently, and they feel bad for Haru, who had just reunited with his mom. They watch him put up a front despite losing his powers and hope there's something they can do to cheer him up. As Haru walks out, a man runs into him and introduces himself as Haru's stepfather. He talks briefly outside with Haru and reveals how Haru's mom used to stare at a particular book, so he hands it down to Haru, and when Haru opens it, he sees a photograph of his mom. Before leaving, the old man tells Haru that his mom always wanted to see him, but she was filled with guilt. Haru then returns to his friends, and when he assures them that he's fine, Mai grabs him and teases him before saying they should head home to meet Ruru. Upon getting home, they are shocked when Ruru acts strangely timid, and they notice how she's acting like Haru, so the girls wonder if she was affected when Enigma stole Haru's abilities. While Ruru struggles to prepare barley tea for them, Minase tries looking for Enigma, but she doesn't make progress with it. After asking her company, she goes back to Haru's home and yells at him to fix the communication device. Minase tells him that she plans to use it to hack into Aliyashiki and trace Enigma's movements. Haru then breaks it to her that he has tried but can't seem to fix it, but then Kurumi suggests that Albrecht try it since the bear once fixed her dad's computer. Haru objects, but when they show it to Albrecht, the Teddy enters zone and easily fixes the communication device and hacks the server, annihilating every ego Haru has as a nerd. As Minase reads through the files, they learn that Enigma is an artificially enhanced phantom, created by Aliyashiki after they've been researching the student's special abilities. The company has been grafting human genes to captured phantoms, enhancing the phantoms to use them for special cases like low-cost labor, military deployment, and as man-made soldiers and pharmaceutical test subjects. While the company carried out such experiments, Enigma grew uncontrollably powerful, and she rebelled. Presently, Enigma heads to the Aliyashiki Research Hospital in search of information, so they rush there and see the commotion happening as the guards try to fight her off. Haru then offers to go alone, but the girls disagree, and as they scold him for it, Himeno drives by and picks them up. As they head to the facility, Himeno reveals that now that Enigma has Haru's summoning ability, she wants the information on other phantoms so she can summon them and use them to dominate humanity. When they arrive at the hospital, the girls tell Haru not to risk his life in facing Enigma, but to believe in them. Enigma starts by ranting like a generic villain about how, even though she was created by humans, she has surpassed both humans and phantoms. The girls then try to shut her out by challenging her, but she easily offsets their powers and tosses them aside like rag dolls. When Enigma openly declares to take away their powers, Haru charges at her, but she evades him and transforms into his mom, saying she'll take him down in that form. She starts by creating a whip and trying to strike him down, but when he sees Ruru flying to take the damage, Haru jumps in to protect her, and he gets whipped. Seeing that they are all out of options, Himeno tells Haru that Ruru is a phantom born from the manifestation of his repressed, free-spirited personality. Upon learning this, Enigma walks over to snatch away Ruru, but Mai stops her by throwing a fist at her. Himeno then tells Haru to transfer the ability stored within Ruru to him by kissing her. He and Ruru get flustered, but then the girls yell at them to do it. Seeing that time isn't on their side, the two give themselves a smooch, but then Enigma fires her electric whip at them. To her surprise, Haru comes out unhurt while glowing with an aura. He immediately writes summoning spells, and she does the same to summon phantoms. As she brags about having the same abilities as him, Haru corrects her by letting her know that humans, unlike phantoms, have room to grow. With that, he summons Cthulhu and Marchosius. This time, the fiery versions of the phantoms show up. As his phantoms annihilate Enigmas in a single blow, Haru then orders the girls to join in fighting Enigma. Seeing this, Enigma tries her best to hold out against them, but they overpower her, and Haru turns her into crystals. As she gets crystallized, she tells Haru that she had fun with the time she spent with him, and he says the same to her. After that, Mai gets rid of the crystals, and she tells them that they have to show the phantoms that humans aren't so bad. They all agree with her, and Ruru comes back to hug Haru, revealing she's returned to normal. Later, when they learn that Haru's mom has woken up, Haru goes to see her, and she sobs seeing her son has grown up. He hands her the photo book, and she tells him it's the first book he loved. It brings back memories, and Haru starts crying while confessing that he missed her. His crew listens to them from the door, and Mai is glad Haru is finally reunited with his mom. Time flies, and the people whose special abilities were stolen return to normal. Haru gets fairly popular, but his crew dislikes it. Still, they find time to hang out, and they go on missions as usual. If you made it all the way to the end of this recap, write sweet plot in the comments. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more anime recaps like this. Peace.